Luke the Cardist. Uh, I watch a lot of his stuff. Piggy banks. You know, there's so many, and these guys that I am talking about are OGs. Uh, and I don't believe some of them intermix like the AI with the cards. That's something I don't do with my cards. Now I plan to do a couple versions of cards that I have created visually through AI, but I haven't done that yet. Um, is all I've done is kept cutting and then taking my cut cards and my designs I've made out of my cards over the last 2.5, 3 years, and then that's where I add the AI in to something I've already made, something that was already my idea. Um, and then add animation to that and call it customs in motion. And I've got like a whole series that I'm working on. Um, and actually, when I get it all done, I want to do a like a digital book somehow, where you have a still picture of the card, then on that same page below it is the little card in motion video that I've made. I'm not sure how that's gonna happen, but that's something I'm thinking about is how to make a digital book with the cards, uh, and art book, card art book. Um, so yeah, those are things that are on my mind. That's where my mind goes. A digital book. Um, but keep on plugging with these cards. I've got a list of people, and then people that have been in the past I've met that I still owe. Because I want to build them a card. They're respectful people, kind people, people that I make connections with, and I want to make sure if they want a card, they get a card. Um, so from this week is that I was watching an artist, and he was being interviewed. Can't remember which artist it was, but the artist said that a true artist doesn't sell his art or her. True artists do not sell their art. And that's been kind of one of my things is I'll build sets if people order them or a card for them. But if you actually knew how many cards I've built that are in this cabinet right behind me, this brown cabinet, that's all full of cards. There's 3 card cases that are nothing but card art. And then there's another 3 that are the slabs and the higher end auto collections. So, um, yeah, when it comes to my own card art, I always like even this wallet that I'm sending off for the competition. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love how it turned out. I love the presentation I'm gonna do with it because it's different than your everyday like I do with my 360 points. It's different than putting it in anything plastic and seeing it. What this is how I'm doing it is a showcase, you know, where you have a special card and you have it in that one case that says, like the authentication cases, and making that special to the card. So where the entire thing, from the box to the card to everything, is all one. So, but I am having such a hard time. I mean, I even made I even made a certificate of authenticity for this card. Um, I mean, and that's pretty nice. It's fancy. It says certificate of authenticity. It's all chrome and silver, decorative around the outside, and on the back, it's all decorative around the outside. And it's got this blue patch, and it's got a picture of of Robert on the back. And actually, that's probably where I'm going to put the one of one is on this certification, and not necessarily on the card because I don't want to put anything else on the face of the wallet. Um, the cards in the wallet. I think that is just streamlined perfect. Put the one of one and a signature on the certificate card, and on the back, probably bottom of the wallet, I'll probably write my name, sign my name like I do, just Vern White. So yeah, I even have a hard time getting rid of those, even though they're going and it's going for good purpose. It's going for good purpose. So I always gotta have a stiff upper lip when even with you slap fighters and other fighters. There's a lot of times I'll build a card and I'll be like, man, I don't want to give that away. That's nice. hmm And it's just nice to me. It's nice to me. Um, so an artist never really tries to sell his art. And if you're trying to do it, this is what I found out early with Power Slap and dealing with trying to do the cards I was doing and stuff. Because at the beginning I was making it about money, and trying to make money and sales, and I had those fighters that had paid me and paid me well and treat me well. Um, but I stopped doing it for the money as the priority, and when the art became the priority, that's when I saw such the increase in cleanliness and cuts, um, cleaner ideas, more ideas, and yeah, thank you, Power Slap. Thank you, Slap Fight Championship. Both you groups. Thank you to the softball team in Oklahoma City, the Diamonds. Thank you, Diamonds, this year for your business and that journey. Um, and I always leave stuff out. But I'm thankful to everybody that's ordered, everybody that does order. Um, Thankful for today's interaction and transaction. Uh, so yeah, this has been a heck of a ride. It was back in. Actually, I'm gonna do this since we're yapping. I'm yapping about it. I can yap about whatever I want. I can do this all day. But I want to show you something. Um, Let me show you something. Fire Marshal Bill. So if anybody ever watches this to this point, I'm gonna show you something here. So this is the Beckett Baseball magazine. Okay. Beckett, January 2023. Beckett, January 2023. And this was a day that I was just so ecstatic because they opened up with the Card Art League. And there it is, right in the Beckett. You know, and it was Talent Sports, and he's still working on it. And that's why this one's the last one of the year. You know, and the card artists have changed and flopped and flipped and twisted and been different and uh and this time I got the opportunity thanks to Boz. But like if you look here, here's I can show you right now, just right here. Here's Mouse. Okay. She did a card of McCaffrey, and I asked permission if I could do a couple things to it, and then if we could put like a Miles and Vern collab thing on it, and so yes, we did. So Miles, and I got a lot of hers in my PC also. And then here is I'll do this. There's Mike from Alabama. Mike. Then here's the go-to that has done a lot for me. These next two have, I mean, they've done. They were the first two, and they've done so much for me. And so we're gonna start right here, and this right here is Donnie B. Donnie B Collectibles. Okay, Donnie B Collectibles. Donnie B has helped me so much. He's got me card. In fact, I still have to make his card that he has. Have an autograph ticket stub, and yeah, I still got that stuff. I still got to get that card made for him. Then I call him Sensei. This next guy I'm gonna show you, I call him Sensei. Here, we'll go right here real quick. That is shark bait. Okay. This is shark bait. Ray, my friend. And so that shark bait was the first one I ever sent a card to. Okay. So I sent him a Bobby Witt. It was an Onyx, but it was not like an Onyx Chrome or Onyx Silver. And it was a Bobby Witt Jr. Onyx rookie card autograph. And that was the very first card I ever had somebody cut for me. And it is an amazing card. It's in the PC back there. And my PC is by artists, where I've got Shark Bait, I've got Mike, I've got Donnie B, I've got Mouse, I've got Card Killer, Boz. I've got one card from Cardmark Canada, and then I don't know if I said Mouse yet, but Mouse, Boz, and of course Shark Bait. So yeah, and this was back then, and so now the FAFO Robert G. O'Neill card, that's where it's headed. It's right here. So that's super cool. Which means I also accomplished a goal. Because when this magazine came out and I saw that, I said, someday I I hope to get my card in that sort of competition. Someday I want to be able to say that I got to compete in the card art league. And I did it. Doesn't matter that it's just one card, one time. I set a goal in January of 23. And it is now Oh, we're in November of 25. And I always said this was a long game when it comes to this and this effort and all this. You know, you have to make the right connections, meet the right people, and you actually yourself, you have to be a respectful, kind person yourself to even, you know, be considered for these kinds of things. That's something everybody needs to remember too. You know, is that's a part of it. You know, that kindness and genuine, real person that you are. If that's who you be and that's how you walk and that's what you show people, you know what? You're gonna get a lot more out of it. 75% of the reason that I get to do this was because I've been kind. That's how I see it. There's some kind karma going on here, you know, and it's a shame because most places, if you had somebody in town, this small of a town, that was doing these kinds of things, that town would be all over this. But you know, what was that saying? Oh, I can't remember it right, so I'm not even gonna try to say it. But you know, I talked on the phone last night. Somebody, we were talking about this. We found it very interesting. Found it very interesting that uh, I got my card collecting buddy who hated card art when he first heard about me and what I did because he's such a pure collector. He went from hating it to owning seven pieces I made, and he was very kind and he bought them from me. There was one other guy in town who bought a few from me. There's been three guys in town that have bought cards, and it's probably been a total of 13 cards. Um, you know, since 2023 with those guys. Um, and other than that, there's not been one, not one believer in what I was doing. I've done all this with nearly zero support, absolutely zero positive reinforcement. Um, doing this, what I do, and I'm doing it because I love it. You know, I love the sport. I love doing these cards. Um, and so their only problem is they just don't love me. So, you know, they can't find a way to be supportive. And this isn't just directed at one particular group. You know, there's been no support from anybody in this community. And I remember telling somebody, well, I think this was around probably close to July 1st, 2023. It was after that, a couple weeks after. But I was talking to a couple people that should have had some love and support for what I was doing. And I saw eyes being rolled and this, that, and the other. And I just said, you know, I live a life where if I have a dream, I'm going to do everything I can to make that dream happen, whether you understand the dream or not. I do. That's why I'm going for the dream I have. That's why I've continued to. I've never quit. I've gotten grumpy a few times, but I've never quit. I've kept moving forward. But that night, years back, after such the negative reaction to what I was so happy about back then, it was a card. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was back then, it was because like Talon had messaged me back, and that felt like such a big deal. Because he was just being nice. I just messaged him because of the Card Art League stuff, and he was kind to me, uh, and that's just such a big deal. And when I felt like it was a big deal and time to share, and the reaction is more or less, you're stupid. Well, I did say at that point, I said, I don't give up on dreams. I believe you never should. I believe if you have a dream, you should chase it. And I know what I'm doing is going to happen. But then I said, and I know for a fact with your attitudes, you won't be around to see it. And guess what? They ain't around to see it. I was right. Again. Hey, yo. Again, I was right. I was right. You just don't want to listen. Just don't want to listen. But I did it. I hit my goal. And I'm happy I hit my goal. And this was my top goal. This was my top goal. So now we need some more goals. And with like these barters and these trades and this competition card, I think things are rolling in a very, 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 very positive direction. So I'm happy. I'm thankful. I'm grateful to anybody and everybody that has done anything to lift me up. I mean, there's so many. I mean, the package Wolverine sent me. I mean, I guess I kind of gotta reassess boxes because the one Wolverine sent me was, oh, it was pretty stinking tizite, man. So yeah, I can't. Yeah, Wolverines was awesome. So I mean, I've received like 3 really really cool boxes. Um, Quite a bit of autographed memorabilia. Uh, the Crazy Hawaiian give me the autograph poster from Abu Dhabi. When him and the Dumpling went at it, it's a good card. Um, so yeah, I have plenty of memorabilia, and then I got a good buddy that has a whole lot, of memorabilia. So we'll just open up a museum someday. Yep. But I've already got a copyright on this name because what we've had today. What's today, everybody? What's today, everybody? Today is Sunday. It is Sunday. And so what you have just done this Sunday is you have spent this Sunday at Slap Chapel. Welcome to Slap Chapel. This is my church. This is my spirituality. And I live it every day, not just one. I practice it every day, not just one. And when you find out that all that spirituality and everything's actually inside yourself, welcome to Slap Chapel. That's right. So, we do have Breaking Bad with Mr. White, but for sure on Sundays, Preacher Man, Reverend Vern White from the Church of Light, we will do Slap Chapel. So, here it is. Love everybody that loves you. Love everybody that loves you. Any negativity, don't allow it in your life. Any negativity, no matter what it is. Laugh at it, turn, move on. Never stoop levels. That means something. Stooping to a level. Never stoop to a level below the level you're already on. If you're on a level and whatever you're going to do or your action is going to do is going to put you on a lower level, don't do it. I've never done anything that put me on a lower level. Everything I've ever done has always continued to lift my levels, lift my consciousness, lift my ability to center, my ability to believe in the truth, know the truth. And the biggest thing about that is, and I say this a lot, and like I said, we're in Slap Chapel now. When you don't have fear, it's because you know the truth. It's because you're on the side of the truth. I will say this. Slap Chapel, we don't swear during Slap Chapel, so I do not regret one thing. As I look, as I've listened, been quiet, watched what I know, and things I know that they don't know I know, that I know, that I know, that I know, I'm absolutely 0% ashamed and 100% proud of the decisions I have made, the direction I've gone. And there's no regrets, bud. No regrets. If you live with regrets, you live with a negative knot in your gut. So, let's see, way back when. Oh, we'll go back to 2012 when I moved back here. You know, I've left some situations where I don't regret, but if I had made a different choice, then that situation would have been happy. Now, here's the thing. When you make a choice, what's your reasoning behind it? Is it because you are sharing truth? Is it because you are sharing wisdom? Or is it the opposite? Because what I also know through life is one of the biggest fears of any human is the God's honest truth. I'm going to have to split this up into two videos. Do one that's the Slap Chapel and one that's the break, but it's church. This is the Slap Chapel. Hopefully, honestly, hopefully I can get members. And not members like for money, but just members that listen and want to chime in and want to talk about things and talk about what's real and not be talking 100 hours a day just to hear my own head rattle and hope I get enough views to get $2.18 or 212 or 2000 or whatever it was that the people that built him never saw. So if you do have a light, your green center, your chakra, that green light, that's what I can see in other people. I can actually see what their aura emits. And you find the ones with that green, man, that green center, because that is where you're gonna find people you can trust, people that are going to end up caring. But that's also part of your responsibility is making sure that that relationship is like a two-way street where you're being appreciated and so are they. Where in that relationship or relationships also that people are accountable. You have to find your group. You have to find your people, no matter where they are in the world. And there's loyalty, there's friendship, camaraderie, kindness. You know, these things, those all those things should be basic. They should be basic things that just people exude in life. And you find that a lot of people in a different income or, let's say people that are in my tax bracket. Okay? I'll bet they're kind. See, that's what's odd. I will do this disclaimer. There are the people that are so poor that they end up breaking laws and making bad choices. But they're genuinely say they got a home and their mom is genuinely like sick and bedridden. There's no dad in the picture. And even let's just say there's two kids. How are they gonna eat? Who cares if they eat, right? Who cares? Just so long as you stay out of the wealthy's way. Stay out of the wealthy's way. If you don't want to have your life completely turned upside down. That's what they think. That's what Bill Gates, I ain't too sure on Elon. That guy's just hard to read. I mean, that's why I think he might be an alien, man. I can't even read the guy. I don't think anybody can. And that kid he is needs a whooping. Just saying. Or not his kid. A child that behaves in that manner needs a whooping. Okay? Slap chapel. Slap chapel. People need to be kinder to each other. People need to take accountability for their own sins, for their own bad choices. But when it's all people are worried about is something like image, something like they're just worried what what will they say about me? What would they say about us? What would they say? Well, you know what they would say. That's why you had to do what you had to do, which is fine because it has led to a journey of happiness, peace, success. That's the thing, success. There's been a lot of little successes over the last 2 years, a lot. Um, there just ain't nobody in this county to waste positive energy on telling it to. I'm not gonna waste my time talking to people that hate, or people that have negative energy, or people that believe in negative energy. If you believe in negative energy over the truth, I have no use for you. None. Anybody that does not want to live in the that doesn't want to be accountable, that doesn't want to be kind, that wants to use people just to see what they can get out of them. I also don't want to hang out with people that threaten to murder me. Yeah, that's not positive. So why would I be around that? Don't. You choose who your circle is. You choose who you talk to. And don't give me this, oh, well, they talked to me, so I had to. Camel doo-doo. Camel doo-doo. The camel that Mary rode into Jerusalem on. That doo-doo. That ain't a reason. But there's just a lot of people that believe hate is power. And you look at politics, you look at the world, hate plus money equals power. Or straight up blackmail. Straight up blackmail is power. That's what power is today. It's either hate and money, hate and money, not hating money. I hate money, but hate and money equals power, or blackmail of a high tax bracket. Then that's power. So there's only one way. If those are the two ways to power, there's only one way for a poor man to have power to match the other power. And, you shouldn't even call it blackmail because, that's not blackmail, it's persuasion. But they want to put titles on it like that so you can get in trouble, and they can give you a ticket, and they can try to control your life because they gave you a ticket. Things are out of control out there in this world. Everybody. Out of control. Phones. Blame it on a phone. Yeah. Blame it on your mom. She bought it for you when you were 10. Yeah. We're gonna have a bunch of hunchbacks with really strong thumbs in the generations to come. And that's where we're gonna evolve. Hunchbacks with the thumb wars are gonna be amazing, man. I can't wait. I make it another 5 years. I'm promoting these thumb wars because there's gonna be some 17, 18-year-old kids that their thumbs are just thick, thick. Give me that thumb. I mean, thick thumbs, man. Thick, strong, muscular. Like, those thumbs are going to have biceps. That's how much they play around with this stuff. So, welcome to Slap Chapel Week 1. I'll have to separate this. Separate the box break from Corey. Which, yo, man, boom, boom. See where I stopped that? I got a fist. See that? Yeah. So don't be Elon Musk in my ass. Slap Chapel's out, so that's why I said don't be Elon Musk in my ass, because I give you a power fist. I don't give you no flat hand. Power fist. I've been getting some buzzes on my phone here. I think this stream is about had its time. I'm glad we had a Slap Chapel. We had our first Slap Chapel. I've been looking forward to that. I didn't expect to do it today, but so now also official is Slap Chapel. And it doesn't have to be slap news or anything like that, or slap information even every time. You know, it's just me sharing thoughts on like the universe, the earth, the magnetism, the ether, the different things they do to block things that could help us naturally. The plasma storms from the sun right now, they're absolutely insane. And they don't want to tell people, but I'll tell you. Our old ozone layer, our outer hemisphere, it is fighting so hard right now. It is fighting. I mean, we do have in our ozone, we've got holes at both poles. There's holes in those. But part of that is like the magnetism of the earth and the core and how it rotates and all that. But the earth, the earth, the earth is what needs to be the focus, people. You think Safeway takes care of you? You think Walmart takes care of you? No, man. It's the rock you're on. It's that layer of ozone that's barely protecting us. Because like I said, the poles, but let me tell you this. There is a substantial hole, I guess we'll say, or gap at the equator. You don't hear that one as often. You do hear the poles a lot, but you don't hear the one about the equator. So if you've got solar flares that are just next to record numbers in their force, their speed, how much radiation is actually getting in to our atmosphere. So, but nobody's talking about that. They're just talking about the aurora borealis, because that's pretty. Let's look at the pretty. As we're all going to start developing a hand out of our forehead because of the radiation. My word. But whatever you do, whatever you talk about, make sure you research. And here's something, somebody else put this out there yesterday, and I'll end with this today because I think it's good wisdom. I really liked it when I saw it. Um, I put a little heart on it, commented. But as you work on yourself, if you want to be a better person, you want to be aligned, you want to be centered, you want to be happy, well, first step is you got to find happy. Find happy every day. There's something, I don't care what happens, I don't care how bad it is. You can find something happy about every day. Every day. You know, everybody should be happy that they actually get to breathe in, right? I mean, why aren't you happy that you're able to do that? Most basic, simple thing that should bring you joy is that inhale. And we're going to get more into this kind of stuff as Slap Chapel builds because it's real. It helps. You always say it's just BS when they talk about like if you go somewhere to get some help, say you've got anxiety or you're confused about why you're feeling the way you're feeling or whatever. And if you go to a therapist, if you've got big enough balls to go, because in doing that, you have to also be able to admit you're wrong. You have to admit some of the things that your choices that didn't help your path. I always get from people, I guess wussies, is that's what I'll say. Wussies. Wussies go to therapy. No, 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 no. There's some like I mean there's people that are wheelchair ridden that are on crutches that have caretakers bring them in stuff like no man I just drive there and go so it's different for me. Everybody's not the same, but I go there because I want to learn more about how my brain works and what different triggers in life cause me to fire or to be able to suppress that fire. And it's taken a lot of reading, a lot of research, a lot of grounding, a lot of 3 a.m. nights in the yard with bare feet looking up with 432 hertz Tibetan monk ohms being played as loud as possible with the door open so that way I can hear the ohms. I can be grounded and I can look up at what is called the universe. So we go from I got some special people uh and they've the thing is with some of the talks we've had, some of the things I'm able to transfer, talk about, share energy, positive energy, good energy. You know, it's nice to be able to share that with people that are open to it. Because if you're open to it, you can learn from it and you can better yourself. And if your life isn't about bettering yourself, if you think you're the best, if you think you're the best at anything, you got a lot of work to do on yourself. Who's worried about being the best? Everybody needs to worry about being the best you, not being the best at something, but being the best human you can possibly be. And there are so many that can put up that front. So many. But those are the ones that are on lower levels. And the people on higher levels read through that BS. It ain't even paper. It ain't even. I mean, it's just like it's like them telling you that's how aware you are. It's like them verbalizing it. Sorry, but it is because there are different frequencies. There are different levels. Um, and since I'm still rambling, I'm going to tell you something else that is a fact. When I was 5 years old, we were in church. I verified this story last night, just so when I repeat it, that it's right. So at 5 years old, and you know what they say? I don't know if anybody knows what they say. I do. When you're young, when you're really young, and not a lot of the real world has been oppressed upon you, and your brain is still just fresh, that you stay connected to another dimension, or you can call it the spirit world, whatever you want to call it. But part of that brain stays connected to that for a while because it hasn't been shut off, dismembered, smashed, lied um, to sort of poison that part of the brain that stayed connected with where our energy was before it entered this body. So at 5 years old, and anybody wants to say that they had to live a strict lifestyle, uh, I think I have some friends from high school that could confer. Uh, my lifestyle was very strict. So at 5, I've been exposed to nothing, nothing. I think Woolworths. It was close to it was close like the block before the Midwest Theater. Woolworths. I remember that. Um, I remember some things that don't need to be talked about too. At that age, so my consciousness still was very aware, and actually, it was. I don't know how much positive really was going on because a lot of the things I remember just are not positive. That's why they stay where they're at back there. But this one is positive. And like I said, it's true, it's documented, witnessed. But when I was 5 years old and we're at church, and I'm not really listening to the speaker at all, but I'm focused on the spirituality of where I'm at. Okay, I'm 5, and then I start seeing angels inside the church to the point where my mom is asking me, "Where are they? Where point?" And I pointed, and she goes, "Oh, don't point with it. Just tell me." Because the first one I pointed at was standing up, like uh, up against a wall, kind of like, and that would be like 5 rows back from like the stage area where the speaker talks, um, all the way back, just there, like big, and then ascended, ascended, and then there's one that was over up in the left hand corner, looking down and in, but none of them were looking at me. They were there, but they weren't looking at me. Yeah. So I've had a different kind of connection, different kind of brain. Look at my music. Yeah, I know there's people trying to say, that never happened. Well, it did, and it was awesome. And my music life goes right along with the spiritual life, which led into the artistic life, which now has led into 2 years of studying, 2 years of research, to where my spirituality is different than other people's, but it's stronger than other people's also. Because I believe in a quantum spirituality. Um, you know, and I don't expect anybody to understand that, but I do. I mean, I get it. So, right now, everybody's looking at a 2D God. You know, not just controller over this, or is the controller over everything? Which would mean he's also in charge of whatever God is also overseeing all the quantum realms. Whoa. Next time you think you're so big, I mean, first of all, you should just look at the earth, then look at the universe and realize, you're a piece of litter in the cat box. That's it. Just one of them. That's all we are, you know? We're small when it comes to the big scene. That's why when you're here on Earth, take the opportunities you have to be kind. Being kind is so easy. It takes a lot of energy to be hateful, spiteful, and it takes more energy to lie. Always remember that. It takes more energy to lie than it does to tell the truth. Telling the truth is chill, yo. Chill. Telling the truth is chill. So remember, tell the truth. Come back to Slap Chapel on Sundays. I won't always have openings at the beginning with gifts and stuff. So that was really cool today. I'll try to cut this down and edit it into 2 different things. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be fun. I want to be able to get all the ways I think, all the things that work for me, all the things that have worked for me, especially in the last year, and share those experiences and share past experiences, present, current, talk about future things. But yeah, thanks for coming by and checking out the opening. And then anybody that hung around for some Slap Chapel, thank you. And let's get that membership up. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about some you know, being able to center yourself, being able to control your breath. This is the one thing that when they do my vitals and they put the finger thing on your finger, that's when I'll focus on my heart rate, my breathing. My dad had taught me that growing up about heart rate and breathing because, well, let's just say this: he hunted snipes. Yeah, he hunted snipes. We'll just say that. So he had a lot of training with breath control, heart rate, thinking about it, and controlling it. So when they put that finger thing on my finger, the nurse, she's always like, "There he goes, there he goes," and like it'll start at 78, and by the time she takes it off, it'll be down to 71 or 70. I try to hit 69, 68 just to get it under 70. I've only done that once, but yeah. So I'm gonna share this stuff as a Slap Chapel, and yes, I am a licensed reverend, but this isn't about religion. There'll be religion talk sometimes because it'll just fit in with what the discussion is. But this is about more spirituality and being one with other like-hearted, like-hearted, similar-hearted people around you and build power. Build power through the people you have that are in your circle. Always know, and I've learned many times, um, you know, I don't mean an earring. That's not what I mean by a circle. I don't want there to be an escape hatch where you can just get out of whatever and cheat and leave and throw smoke, cause fire, nothing like that. You gotta find similar hearted, like minded, open minded people that see through the 9 to 5 picket fence. But I can't even do it. Maybe I can. That's my goat. So yeah, my sheep goat. So step outside that. Don't believe, but maybe at least listen and consider to somebody else's ideas. Always believe. But a friend of mine who graduated, I want to say with a master's in theology, one thing he always said, because people throw out the Big Bang theory and then the evolution theory, the Darwinism, uh, all that. People throw that out, and then they say, "Oh, well, That's, that's not God. That's not God. That's not God. Well, we got in this discussion with this, my buddy, um, my buddy John. And so what you had in that room, this little smoking booth, was you had a Jew, you had a Mormon, and you had a Catholic that was, you know, educated in theology highly. And so the Jew and the Mormon, they're saying their shit about what's true, what's not true, whatever. And then Buddy John, theology guy, goes, "How do you know that the Big Bang wasn't the plan? How do you know that these things that you doubt weren't his plan?" I mean, that and it makes sense. Anything that has caused us to get to where we've gotten has been his plan. However, we've gotten there. That's pretty much what I took out of that. So, I want to share all these things with people, all the things I've learned, all the things I've gone through, and the education and things that I've learned from it, and how to come out on the other side happy. There's too many negative Nellies. We need more happy Harrys. Negative Nelly. Happy Harrys. That's a good one, Vern. That's a good one. So I will guru at Slap Chapel on Sundays. We will guru session is what we will do. So anybody that's interested in that or wants to throw in some words, or anybody that has an opinion, and somehow if I figure out letting people join, I will. But we're going to do this more often. I'm going to be streaming Fortnite. I'll be gaming also. So that is, I'll have to look that up, but my email is BULLNVERN Bullenvern at yahoo.com. And don't take the name for what it means, because that was back when I was fighting bulls. I wasn't a rancher. I wasn't a farmer. I was an adrenaline junkie. And so that's why I fought bulls. And when I did, whatever I was saying before had to tie into that. And now I forgot. So that means I've been on too long and talking too much. So we do not say amen. We say Om. Peace. Be kind. Be well. Be happy. Make good choices. And we will see you later on today. Have a happy, happy, happy Sunday. And if you're not having a happy Sunday, step outside and go find some. Go find.